All right, welcome back everybody. I think a lot of people have been looking forward to this one. This is the DR SP30, and it has finally broken its blade belt, the deck belt. Ever since I got it from DR. They are the ones that asked me to do the review on it, and since then, and it's been a few years, 3 or 4 years, and I have fought some wars with this machine. I want to move to a clip right now showing just what happens when you engage the blade. It kind of goes to insane, very insane blade tip speed. Okay, so now when it does that, the regular idle doesn't seem that high. I don't know for sure if the throttle is increasing when it does that, and we're going to kind of find that out today. Because we are going to be taking the deck cover off for the first time, because we have to change the belt. Now, it didn't actually snap. It was just the whole front part of it came off. Here's the replacement belt. And the backing is still there. I'm sure you guys have seen that happen before. But since there's a section kind of missing, it keeps jumping the track and coming off. And so it's time to replace it. Now, DR definitely sells the replacement blade on their site, but through the magic of AI and a Google search, I found out that it is a 1/2 inch by 37 inch aramid belt, which is an A35. That's just the way they do the, where am I? There we go. A35 is a 37 inch belt. That's just the way they do it. And we're gonna try the cheap option. If this thing's gonna keep snapping whatever belt you put on it, I'm gonna put cheap belts on it. So today we're gonna take the deck cover off for the first time. It's 1/2 inch bolts, and we're gonna get a look at how that's set up, because like I was showing and saying, the blade tip speed on this one is insane, and I'm wondering if they're doing that with pulleys or if they are increasing the throttle somehow when you actually engage the blades up here, and find out. But ultimately, this is going to be a good look at how the deck belt is set up, and maybe I'll be able to actually show the changing of it. Okay, so here's what we have here. It's definitely a good time to clean out under the deck. Wow, look at all this. Get trapped under the deck cover and you don't even know what's happening. So we'll be cleaning that out, and then we have a, I wasn't even thinking that this might have two belts. Larger mowers with multiple, I mean of course it does, multiple blades will often have what's called a power belt and then a deck belt, and that is the case here. So the two blades are run off of the deck belt, and then you have the power belt back there, as you can see, is shredded. Let me try to get closer. I think I can get closer. Maybe I can't. I can get farther away. What's happening here? Alright, so that's the belt that we're changing there. The deck belt looks okay, and that's good because I don't have that one. I wasn't even thinking that there would be two of them, so I wasn't looking for two separate part numbers. But since discovering this, I have looked it up, and the deck belt, the larger one, is an A40, so that's a 42-inch belt, and that looks fine, so we're not changing that today. But the power belt is an A35 or 37-inch belt, and we're definitely changing that. And you can see what the problem is. It hasn't snapped, but there's a huge amount of it missing there, and so it jumps the track right there. See that? Okay, so we'll get that off of there, put the new belt on, and start it up. Okay, so now we've got all that grass out of there that was all built up and caked on. And yeah, so just a note too, that I run into this for many years, for decades, is that when they put the spindles on most lawnmowers these days, they have this well. You see that? It's like a bowl. And most of the companies do that, where it will actually hold water. And you know, here you're saying probably, well, it has a deck cover so water won't get in there, but it definitely did. That's wet, you know. And there's only one company, one time I saw, and I'll show it to you at some point, my Snapper Pro 48 actually has it raised right there, so water will drain off of the spindle, and or however they have it set up, I can't remember, but water will not collect there. And it's the only time I've ever seen that. It's just, you know, this is just a little rant I run into all the time, because if water collects down there, it will rot whatever's down there. And just, okay, so this one's going to do it too. I just have to be aware of that. So anyway, so there we have a good look. There's the brake, so when you disengage the blade, it definitely engages like a bicycle brake there, as you can see, onto that hub up there to stop it instantly. And not sure exactly. See, we got a number 30 up there on the top of that bar, showing the difference between the 26 and the 30. There are two different versions of this mower, and just trying to see how it is that I'm going to be able to. Looks like that cover's going to have to come off to get the new belt on. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to film that or not. We'll see. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing here. If you engage the blades here with the arm up here at the top, that's the blade engage lever. As you're doing that, it's going to pull it way far away there, and you're going to have plenty of room to get the belt in there. So the only thing you're going to have to remove is this guard. It kind of looks like a Tesla launch pad. But that's going to have to come off, because you're not going to be able to squeeze it down in there. But that looks like it's just held on by a couple of probably 9/16 or ½ inch bolts. So let's take that off. Okay, so what's happening here is, you saw, so this is the front here where I was just working, and it is now stuck on what I'm discovering is a third belt. There is another belt running back to the drive wheels, the you know, the gearbox for the transmission to do the self-propulsion, and it is wedged in between this top pulley and that belt right now. And easy enough to get it off. I just wanted to show you all what's happening, and so I'm doing that right now to get that old belt off. And of course that belt is going to have to come off too, because it has to go on before the propulsion belt. How about that? So we got to pull that off. Okay, so what I've done, I'm sorry I didn't film that. I was in the middle of a thing and I wasn't able to show how to get the propulsion belt off because it doesn't have a tensioner, so they're a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to do is basically you run a small screwdriver down into the V on the pulley as you're spinning it, and it runs it off the track. And I'll try to, as I'm kind of putting this together, as you can see in the background there, the blue belt, the new blue belt is on, and off to the right that's kind of running up and down is the propulsion belt off its pulley. And I'm just going to show you a kind of a graphic. I'm going to try to show how I did that. So here's the new belt. You can see there, once everything was off, I was able to just put it on there because this one wasn't in the way again anymore. So now I have to put this back on there, and I'll show that in a second. But basically, to get it off, if you can imagine the thing being on there, what you do is you run a small screwdriver up into the pulley, and then you pull it, and the screwdriver rides in there and throws the belt off the track. I wish I had shown that. Next time this blade belt breaks, I'll definitely show how to get that off of there. But at the same light, this is the same way you got it off is how you're going to get it on. Basically, you got to start it up one side without dropping the whole lawnmower, and get it started on there. Okay, and so in the midst of everything, let me move that flap up a little bit. So you can see where the actual gearbox is, and that kind of pivots a little bit. If you were to take that is your tensioner spring right there. That thing that I was just fighting with is what allows it to swivel. And if you take that off, you're able to get it to its minimum length so that it's easier to get the belt on. Now you can get it on even with it on there, which is what I was trying to originally do, but it was fighting me. So I just took it all the way off and decided to reattach the spring afterwards. And so to explain what I was doing after the fact, that's what happened. Okay, so there it is. Everything was just basically the reverse of the way it came off, obviously. And so it looks like we're good to go. Let me just see if it engages properly even with it off. Let's see what happens. Yep, that looks good. And so I think, so we're just going to put that retainer, that kind of launch pad looking type thingy back on there. Let's see where I can find the wrench. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give it its startup trial run here to see if it is working fine. Now I do realize that this mower was on its side for quite a while, so I have actually had it upright for quite a while, hoping that the oil has drained back to where it's supposed to be, and the gas never came out, the oil never came out, but when you have them on their side for too long like that, they can go and the oil can wander off to places it's not supposed to be. So there's a chance we're going to get some smoke on the startup, and I'm sure it's just going to work its way out. Okay, so that definitely did the trick. We are back in action. This is one of my absolute favorite lawnmowers. I'll keep putting this blade on, this belt on, as often as I need to get this thing going, because wow. And you know what? On those startups there, to answer that question from earlier, I was listening very carefully to the engine pitch, and no, the engine does not change its RPMs. That's all deck that's happening with that crazy hurricane of blade tip speed that happens. Never seen anything like that, and I really, looking here at the deck, I kind of don't get it. What is making them spin so fast? The main power pulley under there is a normal size. It looks like about 5 inches across. Can't quite get all the way in there, but I think I was showing it earlier. So that is being reduced to this size, and then the deck belt, same thing. It doesn't make sense to me, but doesn't have to make sense as long as it keeps performing like that. So now I know that we have 3 belts, and I will try to keep the other ones in stock. Realizing just now I didn't get the measurement on the back one, but I'll get that. And that does it. Now I'm going to leave the belt, the deck cover off for a little while for a few reasons. A couple of things that I'm noticing. They went to the extent to make it a aluminum deck so that it won't rust, but then we got steel bolts on there. So I'm going to have to do some rust proofing on some bolts. I noticed one back here that is completely unacceptable on the outside. We're going to have to rust proof that. And I'm just going to have to go through and tweak this mower because it's so unique and so crazy strong that I want to perfect it. And so you'll be seeing more with this one on both channels. So I appreciate you watching. I hope that helped you. I'm sorry about the things that didn't work out perfectly on filming and didn't work out at all on filming. And stay tuned for more. As things break, I'll try to fix them or anything else interesting. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.